The 4 reading strategies that we will be presenting in this presentation include the KWL Plus, History Memory Bubbles, Questioning the Author, and Math Reading Keys. Strategy 1, KWL Plus. KWL Plus is a strategy that prompts students to activate what they may already know or think that they know about a topic and what they may learn prior to reading. Students use the text to confirm, revise, or refine understanding, as well as enhancing their knowledge and answering possible questions. This method encourages students to categorize their thinking. Begin the strategy by choosing a main topic and writing it above the KWL grid. Have students contribute to the first column K, including what they know or what they may have heard. Ask students what they wonder or what they think they will learn about this topic, guide if necessary, and add comments to the W column. As students read, have them check off what items are supported by the text, or put a line through the contradicting items in the K column. Also have students jot down answers to the questions in the W column. After reading, have students focus on the third or L column. Guide students in categorizing their knowledge, the plus stage. With partners or in groups, ask students to sort all of the information in the K and L columns by deciding what items might meaningfully be placed with others.
He was about 100 years old when he died in 1900. His funeral was arranged by his friends in the United States Army, and he is buried in Wyoming at the fort that bears his name. Despite struggles and disappointments, Chief Washakie was a successful peacemaker who earned the lasting respect of the United States Army, the pioneers who moved west, and his own people.
Very good. So, does that answer our last question, Thomas?
Yes.
How old was he? He was almost 100 years old, right? So, let's go back to our KWL chart. All right. Our KWL, it said, what did we know? We knew it was a chief. We knew that there was some moving around, and we knew there was a fort named after him. Our W was, what we wanted to learn was where he lived. We said he lived in Wyoming. His tribe was the Eastern Shoshone. He was about 100 years old when he died. They never told us what his name meant. How or when he became the chief, and we said he was chief in the 1840s when he defeated the Blackfeet. Did it ever say anything about his tribe moving, though?
No.
No, what did his tribe actually end up doing?
A company.
Very good. So when we looked at the pictures, we saw that they were moving, but we made the assumption that he was moving, but in fact he didn't move. And then some of the things that we learned was that he was friendly to Americans. It was the tribe of Sacagawea. He did not want them to settle in Wyoming, and that the tribe guided settlers through Wyoming. So, pretty interesting guy in history. Very nicely done.
KWL elicits and provides an inventory of students' prior knowledge. Misunderstandings about a topic are revealed and addressed. It sets a purpose for reading, helps students monitor their comprehension, and revises and refines their understanding. This strategy can be completely guided for non-readers, but works best with proficient readers. KWL can be used in all subjects and grade levels. Students with learning disabilities are provided with a systematic approach to developing useful reading practices and benefit from reciprocal teaching in small groups. If the during reading portion of this activity is a distraction, reserve it as a post-reading activity. Strategy 2, History Memory Bubbles. Reading history for many students can be daunting, with a seemingly endless array of factual information. This strategy assists students in seeking out key concepts and terms to develop connections and relationships among information as they read and study. Begin by having students analyze key vocabulary in terms of connection to a problem or solution text frame. For example, what is the fact? Or, what does it have to do with problems discussed in the text? Have students identify key terms or facts from a selection they have read. Model using a key term as an example on a transparency. Have students work in pairs to enter as much information onto their worksheet. Once completed to the best of their ability, have them share with the class. This is a skill that works best with proficient readers, though poor readers, including students with learning disabilities, could be guided through the activity and taught how to seek out the term and relative information. This is specifically titled for history, but could be adapted in other courses as well. After students become comfortable with this strategy, it may be assigned as a homework activity and for study preparation for chapter exams. A key feature to this strategy is encouraging students to scan the text to locate and memorize minimal details associated with the term, fact, or concept. Strategy 3. Questioning the author. Begin by introducing a new way of thinking about texts. The author is communicating with me personally. Preview a selection that will be assigned for reading. Introduce standard QTA questions in the form of a graphic organizer or on the overhead to allow students to visualize what questions they should be asking. Choose preset places in the text to stop and ask questions. Focus the discussion during pauses about the author's intentions rather than about the information. After sufficient modeling of this strategy, encourage students to generate their own queries about selections. Have them pencil in where they would stop and what questions they would ask at that point. Partner work is a good way to perform this step.
We are having a reading program at my school. Each class earns points for the number of minutes they have read. My class had 1,245 points last week, but we read 552 more minutes this week. The class in the lead had a total of 1,378 points, but they earned an additional 567 this week. How many more points do they have than my class?
All right, so Tanner, what are the important things you need out of that?
So you need to underline the numbers and the numbers and the what you're trying to solve. Yes.
All right, so what are the numbers?
So it's 1,245, 552, 1,378, and 567.
All right, Naima, what are you trying to solve?
How many more points do they have in my class?
All right, so how are you going to solve that? What is that telling you have to do?
So you would have to add the 1,245 and the 552.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to add the 1,378 and the 567, and then subtract the.
All right, so do that first. Do that first. Add those two together.
So.
And so you're going to add them together. And so, Naima, what would you do after you add them?
You would add, if you add both of them, then you would subtract.
All right, so very nicely done.
Questioning the author is pivotal to many other strategies. Discussions are valuable for comprehension building strategies for struggling readers. Lessons may be developed in all content areas and tailored for young students as well as adolescent learners. Strategy 4. Math Reading Keys. This strategy provides a protocol for helping students understand the unique features of math text as readers and learners. Students use a bookmark that highlights key concepts to aid thinking through math text. Begin this strategy by using the QTA discussed previously. Model how to read a section and have students follow along. Interject at areas where the author assumes prior knowledge. Supply students with Math Reading Keys bookmarks. Model using the bookmark while reading through a section. Pair students with partners to read portions of the math text together during class time. Ask students to write their own explanations of key terms in a notebook. This will serve as a good source when they are at home doing work independently. Have students create a classroom dictionary of key terms written in student-friendly words. Key features to have on the bookmark include: 1. Read carefully to make sure each sentence makes sense. 2. Summarize what you read in your own words. Reread parts that you are not able to summarize. 3. When you encounter tough words, find similar words and substitute them. 4. Discuss with a partner what you read to clarify your understanding. 5. Look for things the author assumes you already know and things you have learned before. 6. While reading, work any examples provided. Reread after working the examples. 7. Write explanations for your new mathematics terms in your notebook. Students learn strategies that aid in understanding conceptually dense texts while using the math reading keys. Students with learning disabilities or who struggle with math can benefit by having the bookmark as a guide as they read. This strategy can be adapted for use by young students as they begin to learn math equations and principles and to assist in developing their math reading skills. This strategy is strictly a math reading activity. This concludes the presentation. Thank you and happy reading.